Can you tell us, how did you know Ali was the one for you?
Well, the first time that I really knew that Ali was the one was when we were on a road trip to New Hampshire from New York City. I was trying to bring her up there. That's where I went to college, and it was really special to me to be able to bring her there because I had such a great experience, and I wanted to introduce her to all of my friends. It was very exciting. Now, she didn't get out of work until 7 p.m. on a Friday, which, against my better judgment, I agreed to start a drive leaving Manhattan at 7 p.m. on a Friday.
Brave move.
It was very brave, and it just goes to show you how much I really was excited about her, that I was willing to do that. So I had the rental car. I picked her up in Fidei. We got through maybe 45 minutes of just traffic to get out of Manhattan. And we were on our way up to New Hampshire. Then it starts snowing. So it's snowing, just increasingly more snow coming down. We're driving up, and it gets so bad on the roads that we're really only driving maybe 30 to 35 miles per hour on major highways. It's really, really white out. So white out that I will admit that I accidentally drove in the wrong direction for 30 minutes and missed my turn off. Sorry.
Oh my God.
And
stress.
So that was bad. And so it took us so much longer to get to where we were trying to go. A drive that took 6 hours under suboptimal conditions with a little bit of traffic ended up taking 12 hours. We drove through the whole night. Ali and I had to take turns sleeping to continue driving in order to get up to New Hampshire for the next day for a 10 a.m. kickoff for my college rugby team. So it was a really harrowing experience. But the way that we were able to navigate that together and to figure out what we needed to do in order to get back on course, she, at the time, did not express any madness about me driving in the wrong direction for 30 minutes, which...
Good sign.
A really good sign. So I remember the next day when we finally got to New Hampshire and I took a nap, waking up from the nap and being so amazed by how well that experience went, given how chaotic and poorly timed it was. And it really felt like she was going to be the one.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing. Just a couple of things. I think if you were to drive 12 hours in Ireland, east to west, you'd run out of land and you'd be in the sea. So kudos to you for driving that long. I personally think
we could have been in the sea for all I know at that point. It was really white.
I think if I spent 12 hours alone in a car with myself, I would start to hate myself. So I think this is a testament to your connection with Ali, that after this, like you said, harrowing experience, you still enjoyed her company and you look forward to hanging out with her more. And this is one of my favorite stories that I've ever heard, actually, not just on the channel, because sometimes a lot of people say it's something that built over time, which is so great, and like a lot of people can agree with. But I love that you have a specific point in time. You can pinpoint it to the moment you started to feel that way. Thank you so much for sharing. I love that. Can you tell us, how did you meet Ali?
Ali and I met online. Another fun story is that we met online on 2 different apps. We first met on Tinder. We matched and she messaged me right away. I was very excited. She went to college at the same place as my best friend's little sister. So I had asked her and I was like, hey, Miranda, do you know Ali? I just matched with her. I'm going to go on a date with her. And she said, oh my gosh, Ali's the best. She's really cool. She's so talented, really nice. You're going to have a great time. She's amazing. And so I was really pumped to get an endorsement from someone who I knew so well and who knew me so well. And unfortunately, right as we were about to go on the date, I just was checking in with her, as you do, 24 hours before we were supposed to go on the date. And she said, oh, I'm so sorry. I've actually started seeing someone else. And it's starting to get a little serious, and I would feel weird going on a first date with someone at this time.
Plot twist.
Yeah. So I appreciated the honesty. I didn't want to go on a date with someone who maybe had designs on someone else anyway already. But I did feel a little miffed that I was somehow low enough in the queue of dates that she'd already gone on several dates with someone else. and formed an attachment to them between that first interaction online and the other one. So, I wished her luck. I hoped everything worked out well with Marissa. And a month and a half later, I saw her on Hinge.
A different app.
And so I've reached out again and said that my offer to get a coffee still stood. And that I'd love to go on a date if she'd be willing. And she said yes. We went on a date and it lasted 14 hours.
40.
And then the rest is history.
Oh my God, what a mark of a good date. What made it a good date? The fact that it lasted more than half a day. I love that.
Well, yeah. What I would say that was really great about the date, and just goes to show how well my wife was at online dating. She dove right into the meat of it right away. She didn't dilly-dally around with any "how are you? What do you do?" type of questions. She just went right to the chase on what were your most formative experiences. She shared all of her childhood traumas. We really got into it right away about what was important to us and what we cared about and who were the people that mattered to us and what our goals and ambitions were. And so everything just kind of took off from there. We connected right away, and we were already so deep into
I love that.
each other's lives that everything just kept moving.
I think that's so amazing. And I think this is another maybe testament to your connection with Ali, is that maybe some people would be thrown off with questions like that or going that deep from the beginning. But you're the type of person you're like, hell yeah, let's dive right in.
Yeah. We had about a hour-long conversation you could call it an argument about whether or not atheism or agnosticism was more dogmatic.
Oh my God. Yeah.
On our first date, probably like 2 hours into the date. So, after you get through that, really, everything else is smooth sailing. Yeah.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. How long have you been with Ali now? How many years has it been?
It has been, that's embarrassing. It's got to be 7.5 years.
7.5 years. So 7 anniversaries you've celebrated together. How do you celebrate your anniversary? Do you have a tradition where you do the same thing every year, or is it different every year?
Oh, we just figure it out. We're winging it every year. We don't have any specific tradition or plan. And now that we have an 18-month-old, we're winging it a lot, even more so. So, yeah, we'll figure it out. This year we're gonna have a nice time. We're going to London this weekend, so that'll be part of our.
That's amazing.
Celebration.
What a great way to celebrate. I love this. You're going to have such a fabulous time in London. Mel, last question for you. Do you have a song that reminds you of Ali? It could be your wedding song, or maybe just a song when it comes on, it reminds you of her.
Well, it's definitely our wedding song that we had together, which is Frank Sinatra's Fly Me to the Moon. It's a very overly saccharine and romantic song. But the backstory to it is what really reminds me of her, in that she came to pick me up for a date at Google, like pretty early on. Maybe it was our like 4th or 5th date. And, I badged her in so that she could get a seltzer and a little snack before we went on our date. And she was waiting there, and I was finishing up an email, and she went into the conference room called Fly Me to the Moon. And I was like, it's Fly Me to the Moon. I don't know. I didn't know the song at all. I'd never heard of it before. And she said, oh, well, I'll have to play it for you. And so she played the song on YouTube. And while we were there, and came over to me and was being very romantic and started like dancing with me a little bit and singing the song. And there is a lyric pretty early on in the song that says, I love you.
Yeah.
And it was that moment where we're like way too early on dating to be saying that. And it was just an awkward moment of her singing the song and like pausing at that point while we were dancing and very close to each other. And it was just like, not yet. And that's how it felt.
We're getting there.
We're getting there, but it's not yet.
I love that.
So we always think of that moment when you're like, oh wow, we knew we really, really liked each other early, but we had that sort of prompt from that song to really think like, oh man, are we in love?
I love that so much. One of my favorite stories and favorite shares. Thank you so much, Mel.
Oh, you're so welcome.